Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to design a earring with Bargain Bead Box subscription for the month of April 2023. I still have the strand of crystal roundels from the box and also the citrine strand from the box as well. So I'm going to concentrate on the crystal roundel. This you can do with citrine as well, as I believe. This was a design which was done by, I think her name is Anne or something. So I really like the design, so I wanted to do it. I did a couple of things. Okay, and in her video I think she said 20 gauge wire to use as the frame and then 28 gauge wire to wrap. So let me, like, after doing the two of these, I have come to a conclusion. I feel, it's my perception, okay, I feel that 20 gauge is pretty easy, yes, but I feel that the 18 gauge is the one which is nice and solid. It is a little bit difficult to manipulate, but I think this brand that I'm using, which is a Parawire brand, is actually soft to work with, and I kind of like the temperament and I'm able to manipulate it. But I would say start with the 20 gauge, and then if you're comfortable with it, go with the 18 gauge. So this is the one that I made with 20 gauge. It comes very pretty as well, and this is the one I made with 18 gauge, but I feel that this is nice and solid. This is also, but I feel this to be much more, and this you can make it as a pendant and a ring, or a earring. So I wanted to make it as a earring and a pendant set is what I was thinking of doing with this crystal beads. And tools wise, you need your regular tools: round nose pliers, tweezer nose pliers, or needle nose pliers, and wire cutters. And apart from this, what I was using for this project is this step looping plier. Okay, and I have two in my stash. One is the Benecraft brand, and the other one is the Bead Landing brand. This is the one which we get in Michaels. So I bought this in Michaels. I felt this is much more heavier, like it was really heavy to handle. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of difference in this. There's a height difference in this, and I don't know if the mandrel is different, completely different or not. I'm not so sure about that, but I still felt very hard to work with it. So when I was able to get a chance to buy this, I got this from bbcraft.com. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so this is a Benecraft band. You can also buy this in on Amazon, so it's up to you. If you have this, it's a great tool to have. Step looping pliers is what I think they are called, or looping pliers, but I really like it a lot and I use it for various purposes. Okay, and this is needed for this project. If you don't have this, you can find something which is cylindrical, which is the diameter of your bead or less, just a little bit less, or the diameter of the bead that you're working with. You can adjust this accordingly. You can even use a pen for that matter, or a pencil for that matter, with the diameter of the bead. Okay, for example, if I say this is a pen and I keep this on top, see, this is slightly bigger than the bead, right? So you want some pencil or something like that which is as thin as the bead itself, or you reduce the size of the bead. That's up to you, but I want to work with the strand, so I have an option. So I have an option to work with the 6x4mm crystal roundel beads, and this is an 8, I think this is an 8mm if I'm not wrong, or 6mm pearl, I don't know. This is glass pearl, and this is also 6x4mm bead, but I feel that this roundel is slightly smaller, maybe 5x3, so I don't know about that. So the one that we received in the Bargain Bead Box, I think, is 6x4. So we'll make a exactly a earring like this, the other pair for this. And also we need, for this I'm using 18 gauge. You can use 20 gauge as well, as I said in the start of the video. And then we need a 28 gauge 0.3mm wire. 28 gauge is what I'm using. I have made slight changes according to my preference after making these two. I have come to a conclusion and made my little slight difference, not much from the original one, That's been done. So a little bit difference. I lost my nylon jaw pliers somewhere, and this is the only straightening tool I have, and this, if I do it like really nicely, it just kind of takes out the coating. So once you do that, all you need to do is take your pliers. So since I'm using the step looping pliers, I'll show you guys with this only. But you can also use a round object, but this is much more comfortable. So I take this wire. I'm not flush cutting it, so don't worry about it. You don't need a flush cutting or so for this project, but you don't want to. I keep it right in between these two mandrels, and I should not feel it. That's what I want. Okay, and 1, 2, third, the third biggest setting in this plier, that's the one I'm using. Okay, so I'm holding it here in between and then rotating it. See that? I have a loop. So this is the size of the loop that I will get. Again, I'm putting it in here and slightly bending this and rolling it. See how I am doing it? I'm keeping it with the spool. You can also cut it if you want, but I like to work with the spool, as you guys all know. Like how this is how exactly you will make a jump ring. If you're not aware of how to make a jump ring, go ahead and watch the video in my channel, and you will be greatly benefited, and you can have jump rings that match your projects exactly, that match the wire of your project exactly, right? So like that. So I want 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coils, right? Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 7. Yes, 7 full loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This loop needs to be complete. Just a little bit more is fine. So I do that. I keep it right here. And then see where I started. That's where I want to cut. Okay, I'm flush cutting it always. So the same line, you cut it exactly the same line, and there it is. And when you look at it in the, so this is the portion where you have the cut wire, right? So you turn the loops around, and on the top side you should have 7 loops. If you do, then you're good to go. That's the point that you need to remember. Okay, so that's what it is. Now what you do is gently, the part where you have cut the wire, I want that to be the inner side of the flower shape. So I take it and just widen these loops with my finger. Okay, if you see, the end is inside. Okay, so just widen it. Take your time, don't rush it. Okay, you want it to be widened in a constant fashion. The distance between each of the loop, I want it to be, you know, similar. So just don't rush it, don't rush this step. Gently push all these. This needs to come together. Okay, see, I have half a circle now. I need to just push, push, push. You can hold it and push 3 of the petals and push these individually a bit apart. And then you can do the same here as well. Hold this and push this, push this. As I said, 20 gauge will be easy to manipulate. 18 gauge is a little bit hard. I'm letting you guys know. You can make use of your pliers. Something like that you should get. Right? It's exactly like a flower. Once you get the shape, then you're ready to see. Some things might be a little bit okay, just like so. So if you want to adjust here, you can do all the adjustment now, because once you start wrapping with the beads, you cannot do any adjustment. So if you want to, you can make any adjustments right now. See everything is proper or not. Twist and turn if you want to. And once you have the shape, and also I take my round nose pliers and insert in the middle so that everything is in a circle and not otherwise, right? So now I'm good to move to the next stage. As I said, we need the 28 gauge wire. We need about, say, 10 to 12 inches. Okay, doesn't have to be exact. If it is a little bit more, it's okay. It's a very thin gauge wire. It's not very expensive, but if you run short, then it should be a problem. So I start from the other side where the two ends. So I really like to start from the other side. It's up to you. You can start wherever you want. One of the loop is fine. Just add this wire into the loop, and again go once more. Just make a simple wrap against one of the wire. So I like to do one more just in case, right? I like to do one more wrap to anchor this wire, this thin wire, to our 18 gauge wire. Now you have this. Okay, what you do is add your roundel bead to one of the, well, it doesn't matter which side it is, we are going to go both sides. Okay, so add it. Okay, then insert the wire through the next circle in the loop, in the flower design. So that will make this bead sit between these two coils, right? Can you see that? So take this wire and I'm going to wrap it here twice. In the original thing, it was wrapped only once, but I feel the necessity to wrap twice. Make sure it's nice and tight, but by wrapping it twice, it gives a nice strength to the piece. Okay, now we have attached one bead to this flower. Take a roundel, and as I said, you can also use a round, doesn't matter, but make sure that it fits through this. That's the only thing you need to make sure. Okay, again I'm adding it, I'm going under. See, I'm going under and over, and that's how I'm wrapping the loops. Tighten it up, because once, if you don't tighten it, then kind of doesn't stay properly and it's a little bit wiggly. When I made this one, I made 8 loops by mistake, and then see, the shape is not very round, right? So make this tight, 2 wraps, add the next bead. We are going to do this continuously until we are done adding in between all the loops of this frame. Make sure your wire doesn't get kinked. It's not a big deal with this thin wire, but still it might break. So making sure the wire is not kinked is important. Excuse me, the allergies. See, by mistake I did it in 2 loops. That's how you get kinks in the wire. See that? It gets twisted and kinky. Make sure it's nice and tight and go through one more time. Okay. Now, three beads are added. Right. So I'm wrapping it, going underneath, wrapping it on the next one. So and then one more time. You don't have to do 2. It's just for my satisfaction. I like to do 2. Pop that in place. Make sure it's not kinked or something. And you can also use your pliers to make it really tight, just like that. Okay. Then add the next bead. Go through the next one. We're almost there. Use your pliers to make that tight wrap. One more wrap. Now both the wires meet again, right? Take a roundel, add it to one of the wires, doesn't matter which one it is. We are going to crisscross these wires through this roundel. Okay, so add it here, crisscross through the next wire, and just pop this in place. Okay, so we got our circle. Now this wire, go ahead and go through this frame and wrap it couple more times. 2 times should be good enough because we already have 2 wraps, just like so. If you want one more, you can do one more, how much ever you want. You feel comfortable that it's secure, then it's okay. Then go through this side again. This is short, use your pliers to pull the wire through. Make sure there is no kink. If it is, try to straighten it out. just anchoring the wire nicely through the frame. For this, I feel comfortable with 18 gauge because it's nice and sturdy, and I don't have to worry that I'll distort the shape of the loops. Snip the excess wire off. Make sure nothing is poking. Okay, there we go. We got our basic finding ready. All we need to make is this S hook part and then the ear wire. For the S hook part, it is straightforward, and I used 18 gauge only for this purpose too. So you need to flush cut the end of the wire. Okay, take your step looping pliers. Let me just zoom out a bit. Okay, here is your step looping pliers. I use the smallest one, and I keep this wire. I should not feel it. Then I start the loop, make a P, and don't straighten the loop. Okay, now take the same thing. See how I'm holding it right next to the loop, and then take it and loop it like that. It should cross over. Okay, at that point, go ahead and flush cut with your wire right in the middle. Okay, so that's your figure 8 component. Now go ahead and flatten this up with your pliers. Okay, once you do that, open that up. Okay, and add it to one of your loops. So I like to do it in the back because it's easier, and then close it here. And now we got the hanging part done. Just bring it up. Okay, maybe adjust this component a bit. That way your finding is nice and secure. For some reason this is not coming out properly, so I will see. It's okay, I guess. Yep, not sitting properly. It's sitting sideways, which I don't want it to sit sideways. So I'll find another loop. Right, if you are not comfortable with it, don't go ahead with it. It's our piece. We are the boss, right? So I try to take it out. There we go. This one is nice and smooth. Okay, so that's it. Now all we need to add is a ear wire. So for this, I have here 20 gauge wire, the same anti-copper finish, 20 gauge. It is 1.5 inch. I cut the piece. I flush cut both the ends. I straighten the wire and cut the piece and flush cut both ends. I like to do with the, you can do with the step looping pliers, but I am fine with regular round nose pliers. And then I just make a loop. I eyeball it. I don't necessarily, you know, okay, make the loop. Okay, once you have the loop, take your pliers. This is the biggest one. Second to the biggest one. I keep it. And sorry, okay, I keep it right next to the loop and make it like this, and then use your pliers. It kind of messed up, but there we go. We have our ear wire. Now all you need to do is open up the ear wire and add your figure 8 to the ear wire, the other loop in the figure 8. And here we have our earrings done. You can make the same as a pendant, so you can have a set. I hope you guys like this project. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye. I hope it's nice and clear. Let me just put it on a white background and show it to you guys. There we go. So if you do like my channel, do subscribe, hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching the video. You have a good day. If you'd like to support my channel, there is a heart sign in the bottom of the video, right next to the like, dislike, and the remix button. There is a heart symbol with thanks next to it. It's called super thanks. You can donate as low as $2 and as much as you want. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you'd like to check out my Etsy shop, I will leave down the description box below the link for it too. Do check out. That way I can bring more videos to you guys and keep growing. Thank you. Bye bye.